All right, what's going on, everybody? IOBA. My name is TC, and this is the Awareness Channel. So, it happened again. But before I get going, talking my shit, I want y'all to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Thank you so much. Now, it happened again. Another young brother got beaten to death in an upstate New York prison. Another young brother got beaten to death at the Mid-State Correctional Facility, right there outside of Utica, where I come from. Uh, Again, another one. The other one got beaten to death at, Robert Brooks got beaten to death at Mercy. This young man, his name is Messiah Nantwi, and I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. But I've read three articles on him, on this, three articles on what happened. And in one of them articles I read, the informant, the person who told, was Nantwi's cellmate. He didn't give his name. He stayed anonymous, for obvious reasons. And he said that they beat the boy to death, dragged him down the stairs and beat him. They just treated him like he was a piece of garbage. A 22-year-old kid. And the cellmate also said that they made him clean up the blood, gave him a mop and bucket, and told him to clean up the blood. Now, they suspended 15 people. They didn't fire them, they suspended them because of this. And they supposed to be investigating. And the governor, Kathy Hochul, she come out and make her statement and all of that. How this is unacceptable, blah, blah, blah. But it goes on, like I said, every day. I come from that place. Back in the 90s, I knew a lot of the guys that went to work for the correctional department in New York. Them same jailhouses. And there was a bunch of asshole white boys who couldn't beat nobody by themselves. But you get three or four of them, and they put oh yeah, Messiah was also handcuffed and shackled while they was beating him. I think that's a special kind of evil. But like I said, all them white boys that I used to know back in the day that went to work for the uh, department, the corrections department, and all the niggas that went to was all a bunch of bullies and assholes. Yes, they were. I used to work out with them. And this is the kind of shit they was doing back then. I'm telling you, this ain't nothing new. Police killings, they happening every day also. It's just that the media cannot report on every one because they happen so frequently. The people will be out in the streets. And it gets even worse. Elon Musk and a couple of his pals, Ben Shapiro and them, are talking about trying to get Trump to pardon George Floyd's killer, Derek Chauvin, that cop. Now, I don't know if Donald Trump gonna do it or not, but Derek Chauvin won't get out of jail, I don't think, because he got state charges. He got to do 22 years on the state charges, so he won't get out of jail. But they trying to pardon him for the federal charges, on top of all of this stuff that's going on. It's like they're trying to open season on black people again, is what they're trying to do. You know, once they got you in their clutches, man, It could be over for you. Once they got you in their handcuffs, it could be over for you. This boy was in jail, according to what I said, what I read in here, for felony possession. They didn't say possession of what, but I read in another article they said it was a weapon. I don't know. It could have been a goddamn knife or something. I don't think he had a gun because they would have said he had a gun. But then he also wanted in connection with a couple of murders down in New York City. But I don't know anything about that. It still don't deserve. He still didn't deserve. And I don't care what nobody say. I don't give a fuck. I don't debate. He still didn't deserve to be handcuffed and beaten to death by 15 or 10 or however the fuck many people. And that's what they do. How in the hell? I was gonna say how in the hell could 15 guys beat one guy? Ain't enough. I mean, how ain't no room in there. How the fuck they even get in there to lay hands on the kid? That's how violent that shit must have been. And they beat him to death. But like I said, man, I remember back in the day there was a kid named Mark Russell. Mark Russell was a boy in Utica. And in Utica they had this old jail that you could look out onto the street and you could walk by, and if the cells were like, if you yelled loud enough, people could hear you on the street. And one time, Mark Russell got arrested. He used to get arrested all the time, and they used to beat him up all the time. One time, they got Mark Russell in there, and they was beating him, and he was screaming, and you could hear him on the street. On the street, people could hear him on the street. He was saying, "They beating me to death. They trying to kill me. They trying to kill me." This video might get demonetized. I don't give a fuck. I don't make no money off this anyway. And I ain't doing it for the money. But what the hell? He said, "They trying to kill me. They trying to kill me." And sure enough, later that night, he died at the hospital. This is the kind of stuff that makes people want to dismantle the entire goddamn criminal justice system and rebuild it from the ground up. This kind of shit. Because it's happening every day. These motherfuckers just happen to get caught. Those dudes that killed Robert Brooks, they just happen to get caught. And it's a knee-jerk reaction to call the police on somebody. Because, trust and believe, like I said earlier, the police still shooting people down, unarmed black people down in the street every day. I heard about one today. I forget the guy's, young man's name, but I'm going to look it up. Every single day. So don't look for it to stop anytime soon. Unless, like I said, we dismantle the entire criminal justice system and rebuild it from the ground up. Because the police and the correctional officers and the sheriffs around this country, they fancy themselves slave catchers. And they feel like with Trump in the White House, they can do any goddamn thing they want to do. And they just about can and get away with it. It's got to be really, really, really bad for them to be writing New York Times articles on it, Associated Press, all of them, for the mainstream media to pick it up. It's got to be really, really bad. And like I said, the governor had to suspend 15 people. 15, it just says 15 staffers, placed on leave after the death of incarcerated man in New York. You dig me? They ain't even say the kid's name. Messiah is his name. And every time this stuff happens, it's a reminder of how unified we really have to get. You know, how we have to educate our people in the ways of staying out of the hands of law enforcement. Cause your son or your nephew or your brother or your dad could go to jail and you'll never see him again. And they'll beat him to death. We gotta learn about I think we gotta learn also about strategies to maintain our composure when dealing with these people. Because all they're trying to do is get their hands on you and get you locked up. I'm telling you, depopulation is real. Anyway, that's it for now, y'all. Look up that story. Look up that story. The boy's name is Messiah Nantwi. Nantwi. Messiah Nantwi. He sounds like he's from the continent, or his parents are. You know, nobody deserves that. Thanks for coming by and listening to me talk my shit. Hit the subscribe button on your way out, and I'll catch you on the next one. TC, and I'm out. Peace.